In honor of William Shakespeare's birthday in late April, I'd like to share a few Shakespearean mysteries to ponder and also to celebrate the fact that we all love to learn more. One Shakespearean mystery we have is just who he was. We actually know very little about William Shakespeare, just a few facts from church and legal documents. We don't even know his birthday for sure, even though it's commonly celebrated on April 23rd. That's because his baptism was registered in the church at Stratford-upon-Avon on April 26th, 1564, and in those times that typically occurred about 3 days after birth. Plus, he died on the 23rd of April, and people just like symmetry. Another Shakespearean mystery is his relationship with his wife, Anne Hathaway. She was 8 years older than he was, pretty unusual for the time. They lived apart for most of their marriage and only had 3 children. Even more mysteriously, in his will, William Shakespeare left her his second best bed. What does that mean? Did they get along? Did they care for one another? Did he marry her for her money? Another mystery is Shakespeare's sexual identity. In much of his writing, he seems to touch on homosexuality. About half of his sonnets are written about or to a young man, and these are his most romantic ones. Additionally, in many of his comedies, cross-dressing is included, and there are lots of instances where same-gender couples flirt together. And then, of course, the biggest Shakespearean mystery is who wrote his plays. Many people argue that with Shakespeare's background and education, he just wouldn't have had the knowledge to write so prolifically or so well. One theory is pretty basic, that he wrote some of his plays, but the later, more complex ones were either written with other playwrights or just by other playwrights with similar styles. Another theory is that they were written by Edward de Vere, the 17th Earl of Oxford. This theory, which became popular in about 1920, is based on de Vere's biographical details. And then one more radical theory, my favorite, is that Christopher Marlowe, a contemporary playwright who died early in his life, actually wrote his plays. Marlowe was an agent for the English crown and was murdered in a tavern brawl, so some think that he faked his own death and then later wrote under Shakespeare's name. So whether you wonder about these mysteries or not, I just think it's really fun to realize that there is this literature that has lasted for centuries and people are still finding new ways to question it and to interpret it and to do the same thing with its author. If you want to know more, come by the library and take a look at one of our many, many, many books on William Shakespeare. Happy birthday!